probably know, I went to Board Game Geek Convention this past November, and Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Scrawlers Heroes of Undermountain was one of 2 games that we bought while we were there. We essentially got this sight unseen. We did not know this game existed. 2 to 4 players, 15 minutes, and it is a real-time dungeon exploration game where players have their own dry erase board, their dry erase marker, and they race around this dungeon until one person triggers that particular map's finish challenge. So in the first couple dungeons, you're going to find the big monster that's essentially the furthest away from the entrance. And if one player gets there and colors in that particular monster, they yell stop or whatever they want to, and everyone has to stop drawing. And then you will just score up your sheets based on the scoring that's at the very bottom of that particular dungeon page, and you see who won. It's loads of fun. You play as many dungeons as you want until you want to stop. Each dungeon keeps adding a rule or 2, and that means it adds some components, but it kind of just grows in difficulty. So it's great to start on the easy page, learn the basic rules, and then start adding stuff. You can also add characters, and characters will give you a special ability that lets you break a rule or 2 and kind of gives you an advantage when it comes to certain obstacles. And you just try out a character, pass it around, every dungeon try a different one, whatever you want. It's completely up to you. So I want to show you what this game feels like by actually just playing a quick round. It doesn't take that much time. I know I'm playing by myself, and this game requires at least 2 people so that you're racing against the other person to quickly snatch up as many victory points as you can by going through monsters and treasures and mazes and number puzzles. But I will show you what those are and actually walk you through the different challenges and how the game works. So join me over my shoulder in just a minute, and I'll teach you how to play Dungeon Scrawlers by just showing you exactly how it works. Alright, so I am ready to begin, and there's always a start space that identifies where you start. And like I mentioned before, if you come all the way up here and draw all the way over the entire picture of this monster, you trigger the end of the game, and you also earn 4 victory points. Now, the task here is that you have to draw in a continuous line. You are allowed to backtrack on the line that you wrote, and if you accidentally lift your pen, you just put it right back where it was, but you're not allowed to jump around. You're not allowed to lift it and then move over here to a completely different space. That is illegal. You must always keep the line you draw within the corridors and the rooms. You are not allowed to draw a line through a wall. That is illegal. If your marker goes through the wall but comes back to or remains in the same corridor, you lose a victory point. So you want to be as careful as possible when you're entering rooms and when you are scribbling out everything, that you don't accidentally touch the walls and bump into things, because you are trying to get as many victory points as possible, and you might lose victory points if you cross through walls and then come back into the room. Whenever you enter a room, you have to interact with all the elements inside of it. So everything inside of a room will give you victory points, but if you don't do some of it, let's say you start here and you go into this room and you scribble through this guy, and then you just skip right past and go into this corridor. You forgot this guy. These are going to give you 1 point, and so you would earn a point, but you would immediately lose a point because you didn't scribble through this guy. You would need to come up here before you leave the room, and therefore you would earn positive 2 points, 1 for each monster that you scribble through. How do you earn points in this game? There are a variety of obstacles. The first is treasures. You'll see a pile of gems, you'll see a sack of gold coins, or you'll see a treasure chest. And your task is to draw the outline of the shape to earn those points. So if you're drawing the outline of the shape successfully, that's going to give you 1 point. And the same goes for the sack of coins, and the same goes for this treasure chest. Obviously, you can't do this because you have to draw in a continuous line. This is just for an example. The next obstacle is to copy this particular shape. You will do zigzags, you will do curly cues, you will do snaky lines, and you will essentially follow the pattern. That's the other way to earn points, and that's worth 1 point as well. Once you come across these little creatures, these little minions, you have to simply black them out. You have to cover them up entirely. And if you do that, you're going to earn a point for each one of these little guys. And then you will look at these blue things, these little guys right here. These are exotic plants. All you have to do is just cross through them. And if you cross through them, you will earn the points. Lastly, as you've noticed, there are some rooms that just have numbers. When you enter a room, you must start with 1, go to 2, go to 3, go to 4, go to 5, go to 6, and then you can essentially leave that particular room. You will earn 1 victory point per 3 stones in the area, and that means that this room, 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 all will give you 2 points upon completion. And this goes to 9, and that will give you 3 points upon completion. So now that I'm ready to go, I'm going to start my timer and just see how long it takes me to get all the way up to this creature as fast as possible. And so I will begin right now. And stop. All right. Wow, that took a roundabout way. I can't believe I snaked all the way back around this way. That was really surprising to me. I probably should have finished here and then gone straight up this side, but I guess I just really wanted to go over there. So it looks like I hit a lot of rooms. What would happen now is I would give my board to another player, and they would add up all of the things to make sure that I completed all of the challenges. I didn't go through any walls. I didn't break the rules. And for each of those particular features, the monsters, the spells, the treasures, and the exotic plants, I would get 1 point each. And then for the artifact fragments, which are the stones, I would get 1 victory point per 3 stones. And then I will score this for 4 victory points. So I'm going to do a tally and let you know what my final score is. 39 points. And I did not necessarily cross through any walls. I didn't bump around. I didn't forget anything. And so with the time of 1 minute and 12 seconds, I earned 39 points, which I'm going to say is pretty good. And honestly, I'm surprised because I really shocked myself in the route that I took. And every single time I played on this map, I have taken a totally different route. Okay, so I'm going to say that I won because I was playing by myself. And that's just what I want to say. But I'm pretty sure I did all right. I got a nice amount of treasure, fought off those little minions, and made it all the way up to the monster at the very top and colored in that space for the bonus victory points. Now, what I want to do right now is just show you some of the other dungeons, the other maps that are in this box, because you get a handful of them, and every single one of them you can play with up to 4 players. So there are 4 copies of each of these dungeon maps that you're looking at right now. And again, these dungeon maps have different end conditions. You trigger the end of the game by doing certain things. You can play with those cool characters that I talked about, and you'll see that their special ability is written at the very bottom, and it kind of gives you a visual as to what their specialty is. The tokens that you play with are essentially first come, first served, and so the first person to get to the particular tokens gets the higher victory point score, and then it goes down from there. And there's just enough here to really like this, and it's super affordable. This game did not cost that much, and the production quality is really strong. So you just erase your boards and you're good to go. And I love it. It's super easy, and the maps are really colorful, and you'll just have loads of fun racing and screaming and just having a great time with your friends, because that's what Dungeon Scrawlers is. It's also a great title. So I hope you have fun with this game as much as I do. Let me know in the comments below. Again, we just grabbed this because it was Dungeons and Dragons and because it looks super cute and fun. And guess what? It is. Okay, I will catch you next time.
Learn to play a game with Kim.